When you start combining your field list into table groupings, you might start to identify tables that share many characteristic fields, but then have a subset of fields that are specific to a particular business rule. For instance, let's suppose the Two Trees Olive Oil Company caters to two distinct types of customers: wholesale customers that resell our products and retail customers that purchase from us directly. Both types of customers will have common fields, such as a customer ID number and address fields, and will be linked to an order history through an invoices table. But each type of customer also has specific attributes that are unique to the type of customer that they represent. Retail customers would have a first name and last name, whereas a wholesale customer would have a company name. Further, you might have related information that only applies to one type of customer. The wholesale customers might have multiple regional sales representatives, whereas the retail customer is their own point of contact. This creates a data structure that might look something like this. Here I've populated a few records so we can start to explore how the relationships work out. You can see we have two one-to-many relationships between the invoices and the wholesale or retail customer tables. But the problem is that each one has a minimum value of 0, since the invoice might be linked to one type of customer or the other, but not both. This might create a loophole in our system that would otherwise require that a customer is attached to each invoice. Here we have a situation where we have different categories of the same overarching type of entity. We can resolve this by moving the common attributes into one table and the specialized attributes into separate tables. The more specific tables create something called subtypes, and the more generalized tables are called supertypes. Depending on the programming background of some of your colleagues, you might hear people refer to these as subclasses and superclasses within the data, following the principle of inheritance. Whatever you call it, it's important to understand that you can't have a record in one without a corresponding record in the other. In other words, every customer will now have information split between two tables. Because of this, it's common to place an identifier in the supertype table to indicate where the remaining attributes for that customer live. So in the supertype table, I'll add a new field called customer type that will only store the value of retail or wholesale. And if we take a look at it again with data populated, we can now see that it fixes our problem concerning the connection to the invoices table. Now every customer, regardless of type, is in the customers table, and the specific details of each type are stored in their respective locations. So that's how you can consolidate multiple classes of entities when they share many of the same attributes. Take a moment and look through your business rules and field lists and see if there are any opportunities for you to apply supertypes and subtypes.